Hey guys, welcome back. It's Shelby, and one of my favorite ways of getting on sale crafting supplies is to shop right after a holiday. So I got this cute little Easter basket for $1.50, and we are going to turn this very cute but somewhat cheap looking, you know, it was cheap, it is cheap, basket into a beautiful gift basket, just like a really elegant makeover to be able to gift this as part of a present to someone. So that's what we're doing today. I'm gonna link everything I used to make this basket over down in the description as always, and let's get going. So the first thing I'm gonna do is cut off the tag. Obviously, that's always the first thing you should do. And then the fabric unties and comes out, so we're gonna get rid of that. And I'm gonna keep that because it's like a fun, colorful fabric and I might be able to do something with it, but it's not gonna be part of this basket. So that's just gonna come right out and we're gonna put that to the side. And then you're just left with this really pretty little wicker basket, which in and of itself already is very adorable. If you wanna take off the handle and fill this full of bath bombs and face masks and all sorts of fun bath supplies, this would be a really cute little basket to put into your bathroom. But we're not gonna do that, and we are gonna leave the handle on because that works with what I need it for. First thing we are gonna do though is spray paint it white because I want a white basket and this is not white. So grab your spray paint, head outside, and let's get this baby painted. So I am using Krylon Fusion All-in-One Paint and Primer because I don't want to do anything else to this, and I have a large box that I'm going to use to catch all my extra paint. And one thing that you need to keep in mind if you are keeping the handle on like I am, you spray paint the outside like this, that's great. As soon as you move the handle, you're gonna have like a little blank spot where the paint didn't get. So make sure when you spray it, let it dry and then move the handle and just get all the little spots that are exposed once you move the handle. Let's get painting. All right, so while we are waiting for our basket to dry, we can start making some of the decorations. So if you guys recognize these, I just did a video on boiling them to make them look better. I'll link it above and down below so you know what I'm talking about. These are just little faux foam Calla Lilies that I will be using. And I think I'm gonna use 3 of them. And basically what I'm going to do is kind of stack them on each other like this because I think that's pretty. And I'm going to use some floral wire, which I have here, and it's a mess, don't judge. Whatever, at least it's all together, right? And I'm going to kind of wrap them around and make a little pick and cut off the end so that I have something I can work with to go up the handle. I think that'd be really beautiful. So I do just want them just like this, just a very simple, clean lines, elegant, kind of white, yellow, and green look. I think those are gonna be my colors for this. So I'm going to disentangle some floral wire. And we're just going to stack these up like this. I think maybe, do I want them all going the same way? No, don't go like that. I think that's nice. It gives each flower its own little bit of room. Oh, actually that's kind of nice with them out like that. Take a moment and arrange them the way that you think looks best, but I don't know. On a basket, maybe I do just want them kind of tiered, one right after the other like that. I think that looks nice. So I'm going to take my floral wire and just kind of go down a little bit and just tie them together. Honestly, just wrap it around, wrap it tight. I'm not right up at the edge of the flower because when I put this in there, I'm gonna bring up like a ribbon or something to hide the floral wire, and I don't wanna have to bring it right up to the top of the flower. So I went down about 1 inch from the bottom flower. Since there is a wire in the stem, this one's not gonna like droop over on you. It's gonna hold its shape in place. And you just kind of wrap this around a few times. I'm gonna start going down the stem a little bit and then right back up. Just kind of get some crisscrosses in there. And then we're gonna go down the other way. Just like that. Push in the pokey ends. And we have a perfect little floral pick to put on the basket. I'm gonna grab a multi-purpose tool because shockingly I don't have one next to me for a change. And we're going to get this trimmed and ready to put on our basket once it's dry. I found one and clip, 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 here we go. I'm gonna try and do these like one at a time. Clip, plastic didn't clip. There we go. Clip. And clip. All right, so they turned out beautiful. It's just a lovely little floral pick that's going to adorn kind of the handle of the basket. And like I said, I'm not super worried about the crisscross of the wires because that's going to be hidden. So you have to imagine like hidden, right? So yeah, it's super pretty. I really like that. So we are going to start with some ribbon. Basically, I'm going to start with trying to disguise the handle and attach the floral pick. So with a little bit of hot glue, just add the ribbon coming down and then tuck in the edges around the edge of the handle. It's not going to move a whole ton when we're done. It's still going to be mobile, but we do want to hide the edges, and that added bulk of the ribbon is going to inhibit the movement a little bit. Once you do that, go ahead and put a small amount of hot glue, and you're going to put a very crisp kind of turn in the ribbon, just kind of bend it over on itself, but get it as nice and clean as you can. Loop it around the back of the handle once with a little bit of hot glue. And now we're going to attach our floral pick. So with a little bit of hot glue to keep it in place it against the handle where you want it, and then load up on that hot glue. Just be careful because it is a fabric ribbon, so the glue will eventually kind of permeate and saturate through the fabric and show, so you got to be a little bit careful with that. But make sure you bring the ribbon down to hide the very base of the flowers, and just kind of nice and cleanly wind the ribbon up the stem of the flowers. I'm putting the glue on the back of my handle because hot glue is textured. It doesn't go completely flat when it dries, and I don't want that little bead of glue going up the ribbon. So I'm hiding that on the back and very carefully winding the ribbon over on itself, going up at a diagonal. I'm trying to do the edges of the ribbon overlapping themselves so that no little peaks of white basket handle are showing through, but also that it lays nice and flat, but it also travels up the handle because we need to cover the whole handle. So it has to be at a diagonal so it moves a little bit. Carefully wind the ribbon through the flowers as you go. Basically, I'm covering the base of each flower, and then the next one's going over the top of it, and being careful to hide the basket the entire way up. Once we get through the flowers completely, it's so much easier because you're just winding the ribbon around the basket handle itself, and it's a nice controlled kind of diagonal wrapping, and there's no little like hiccups or, you know, extra bumpy things to try and go over. So that is just easy sailing. Once you get past the flowers, wrap up the whole handle, and then when you get to the very end, that's when I finally cut my ribbon. You can cut it beforehand, but basically I didn't because I didn't want to waste any, and in order to make sure you have enough to cover the whole handle, you have to cut a giant piece, and then you'll have some left over that you have to cut. So I didn't do that, so I just dealt with winding the ribbon around the handle the whole time, and it was a little bit annoying, but for me it was worth it. You have to decide for yourself how much you're willing to sacrifice to save the little bits of extra ribbon. But once you cut off the very end, just bring it down with a bit of glue and cover the edge of the handle the way you did when you first started, and wrap the edges underneath so that you have a nice clean line. For final touches, I took a length of ribbon and I am going to attach it as a bow. So about halfway down my basket, I just put a little bead of hot glue. I'm going to do the same thing on each side. So I'm not gluing it a full 360. I'm just tacking it into place on 3 sides and then bringing it to the front. And I'm just going to tie a beautiful bow. There are a couple different ways that I know how to tie a bow. I will link the video if you want to check those out so that you can make a perfect bow every time. And here is our lovely basket.